Welcome back. I am Tanny Crawford with Martin Healthcare Advisors. This is PT M&A Talk. I do like to tackle challenges and opportunities of owning and managing a PT practice. And today we're actually diving into some what I think are fundamental strategies to overcome two of the biggest challenges that practice owners face today. There are tons, but administrative burdens and then having systems in place for an efficient practice. Answering phones, replying to emails, tracking birthdays. A lot of us find ourselves in the weeds in patient treatment while we're in the clinics. But before we dive into these, I'm thrilled to announce I've got my new friend, Michael Major. He's a PT and actually creator of Clinic Dash, which is a software solution. Michael, thanks for hanging out today with us, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tanny. It was great chatting over the last few weeks, getting to know you and getting to know some of your passions, which is really cool to see.
Michael's a whole lot more than Clinic Dash, but hey, do you mind just kind of running through and tell us your story? You started off actually in the corporate world, went into private practice, and then on to other things, right?
Yeah, I did a little switcheroo. So I started in the corporate world, worked for a company that was growing really quickly and grew, doubled its size within a year, and then went on to manage 10 clinics for them, did a bunch of stuff with them, and then I wanted to go and do my own thing, which kind of fell through. It's a long story. Then ended up going back to the corporate world because there were some really cool opportunities happening, some changes in leadership that I could learn from people in leadership positions that weren't healthcare based, actually. I wanted to learn from leaders that were working in healthcare, but didn't have a healthcare degree, right? They were business people that understood how to talk and speak solutions focused, not get bogged down into healthcare providers don't like this, they don't like that, they have a hard time with this. They're just saying, how can we find solutions for people and take care of people that work in the corporation, but also that we serve? I took that leap and then had some changes happen where I had some really cool opportunities fall in my lap and then ended up opening up my own clinic.
And so you are in Ontario, Canada, right?
Yeah, I am.
That's awesome. We were, not to get sidetracked, we were talking about the difference in some of the insurance plans and payment. That's a whole nother episode though, actually. You see it too. I'm with Martin Healthcare, and so we get phone calls every week from clinic owners who are trying to juggle everything, of course. Some of them have been for 5 years, 10 years, 30 years. And it's really hard to say. I haven't really been able to figure out a rhyme or reason, but some clinics and clinicians have their ducks in a row. They've got some systems in place. They can stay in the zone when they need to. They go to patient treatment and then they come out of that box and then they're in their CEO mindset, but it's pretty rare. And so as you know, without solid systems in place, like PTs can feel burned out pretty quickly trying to juggle all of that. And it can be overwhelming. So our CEO is Paul Martin, and he has a series of videos that come out weekly, but there's time to time he revisits it every year. It's like back to basics. And so you've got systems, you got coding, and we have to measure progress, right? Because if it's not measured, how do you track it? But tell us about Clinic Dash, if you don't mind, and the software and kind of what inspired you to create it.
Yeah, so before I got into physio school, I was in the Canadian Army for 9 years, and I had the opportunity to teach at their leadership school for 2 stints. And so I was really systems focused. They taught me about leadership, communication, clear roles, all that stuff. And then I got into the healthcare world, which was a total different world that I wasn't used to. It was very new to me. And I tried to figure out how I fit in there. It really clicked for me once I got to work with some leaders that were, had led different types of businesses. So they'd led and been CEOs or CEOs of different types of businesses that weren't healthcare businesses, but then came to work with a healthcare business. So all of a sudden they opened my eyes up to, this is how you can measure people in a meaningful way that's meaningful to them and provides meaning to their day-to-day, and they can own it. And so once I opened up my own clinic, I thought, how can I do that on not a corporate scale, but on a small clinic scale, like individual, small group of clinics up to 5 to 10 clinics? How can we do that on that scale that provides meaning for every individual? It's very clear. It supports my culture, mission, vision, values. It helps with communication. I'm not running around putting out fires because everybody knows their job, because I don't think anybody comes to work any day of the week that says, hey, today I want to do a bad job at work. So how was I going to be able to empower them? So if everybody's trying to do a great job at work and they know exactly what they need to do and they know how they're doing, then that takes all the fires off my plate and everybody owns everything and everybody's solutions focused. And so how could I create a system that did that? And I started building that when I opened my clinic 10 years ago. And then we've slowly built it and developed it into a point where it was, I wouldn't say bulletproof because nothing's bulletproof, but at the same time, really robust, and turned it into Clinic Dash.
Is Clinic Dash kind of like a CRM?
In a way, part of it is. But it's a small part of it, right? A CRM is more about relationships. This is about how do you serve the clinic owner well? How do you serve the clinicians well? How do you serve the clients well? How do you serve the front desk well? And then how do you serve, if you have a virtual assistant or a marketing company that works with you, how does everybody get interconnected and use the same thing, be in the same place so they all look at the same thing every day?
I guess, is it work from the cloud? Is it a cloud-based system?
It's all cloud-based. So all cloud-based, HIPAA compliant, HIPAA and PIPEDA compliant for the Canadians, but it's all cloud-based, so it's really, really quick.
Yeah.
And trying to make it as affordable as possible. So we've built it out. We're testing the last little bits of it, so it's going to be ready for January at this point now, and we're going to roll it out. And the goal was to create something that myself as a clinic owner, I'd be crazy not to buy it. I'd be crazy not to use it because it does so many cool things that help me and my day-to-day from a clinic owner perspective, but also help my team become more robust and help me serve my clients well.
Yeah, this is so relevant to today's clinicians and today's practice. I mean, we're here at the tail end of 2024, about to go into 25. We've got AI that has come out, note-taking AI, there's billing AI, there's things that really ramp up our profession and make things a whole lot more efficient. And if you don't have those at all, you just naturally are going to fall behind, right? And so I have a question, like for the listeners out there, are your systems working for you or are they working against you? I mean, you remember we were in practice a long time ago and there were paper notes, there were paper charts, and there was dial-up, and you had to submit bills every 14 days or something and wait on that dial-up to hit and then try to submit it out, right? Even though now, I'm going to use this. So my kids, I don't know if you guys have the same thing. We hear it for TV. We got Hulu, YouTube TV, smart TV, like regular smart TV channels, Netflix. There's like 5 or 6, right?
There's Disney, there's all that stuff
right.
now,
And you
right?
got to have these different passwords, and you get $6 here and $11 every month. And so it's all gotten segregated, I feel like. And I'm like, can we just go back to where cable TV was 15 years ago, where I turn the television on, watch a hunting show, I want to watch a house renovation show, I want to watch a Disney movie. I could see it all in one box. And that's kind of what you've done here with just phone calls, text messages, emails, birthdays, following up, cancellations, all that, right? Just kind of in one caboodle.
Exactly. And then it combines and looks at all the metrics, right?
Yeah.
And it looks at the metrics and it's customizable for each person. So you can customize the metrics for whether it's your front desk person, a VA, healthcare provider. The metrics are customizable for each one of them to know exactly how they're doing. Plus for the business owner, they're customizable so they can see exactly how their clinic's performing. So really within 10, 20 seconds, you can look at it and say, I'm doing well, or I need to take action somewhere.
That's right. We all kind of want these dreamy scenarios, but what are some of the common pain points that you hear? I know you get phone calls as well, probably some of the similar ones, but what are some common pain points that some of these practice owners face? How can this help address those problems?
Yeah, one of the biggest things is what you've talked about already. We're putting out fires in too many places, right? We are trying to do, physios are helpers, but that means they're helpers to clients, but they're also going to try and help everybody that's part of their team. So it's almost like they want to be martyrs. They're going to sacrifice themselves. They're going to work the most hours. They're going to be the person working the hardest in the clinic, and they're going to be tired and sweating, all that kind of stuff. But they never really get anything done because they're always just bouncing all over the place. I'll never forget, it was a call that I had recently where I talked to a clinic owner and they had a coach, and the coach had got them to take 20 hours a week to work on their business. And so she had reached out to me and we were talking. I said, so what do you do with those 20 hours? And she said, I don't know. They just fly by. So I was just like, okay, so this is how we can help you, because you want it, everything needs to be with intent and purpose. You want it, especially when you're working and you're taking that time to work on your business, it's got to be with intent and purpose. So a lot of the problems I'm seeing is that people are trying to do too many things, not sharing the load. But really what it comes down to, Tanny, let's deploy all the stories of, oh, I'm too busy seeing clients, or I'm not seeing clients, but I've got to talk to my front desk team. We're collecting accounts receivable. We're taking care of all the insurance and all the direct billing and all this stuff. No matter what it is, they can't be the doers. So my goal in my clinic is I have a manager, and then all I do strategy. I'm 1 year out, 3 years out, 5 years out. He's day to day. He takes care of day to day. I don't want to worry about day to day at all. Ultimately, what it is clarity. So if you put good clarity in place with clear communication, everybody knows what they need to do. And then expectations and accountability come along with that.
I love this analogy. I've said it before, but because you mentioned working on the practice. And so I have a friend that owns a plumbing company. Every other Saturday, there's no plumbing appointments. They work on the trucks. They've got like 6 plumbing trucks. Some of them are the big, like dual wheel ones, but they spend like every other Saturday for 4 or 5 hours changing oil, double checking transmission, tires, rotation, alignment. Some of them have generators on the truck, making sure all that works, because when Monday comes, they can work in the business at that point, right? And the same thing with these PTs. It's a grind. You're juggling 15 plates at a time. And so if you can back off a little bit, like you were talking to the other clinician, once you get another PT or 2 PTs or a couple PTAs or OTs in there with you, you have to back out and take your treatment hat off and put your CEO hat on. And you can reduce the juggling of the 15 plates down to maybe 8 or 9. Delegate some of that out. Delegate it to the software, but learn to delegate that and shift from putting out fires to like more of an intentional practice. That makes it a whole lot more efficient.
The other thing is you don't want to hand those fires off to someone else and say, here's your fire. Nobody wants to accept accept a fire, right? So your goal is with clarity and communication, clear expectations, clear accountability. All of a sudden it's not, here, I'm giving you a fire, now it's your job. Here, I'm giving you this thing to take care of. This is your baby. Here's how we're going to measure how you're doing with it. Here's the resources you have to make sure you're taking care of it. You take it and run. And if you hit a problem, as a leader, I'm here to help with solutions, right? We can find solutions and help with problems, but then I'm not putting out fires. You're taking care of it. And when you hit a roadblock that you can't figure out, you got resources, right?
We're on the same wavelength. If you're football and you have, say, you got 3 running backs and you run a running back 4 times in a row and he finally turns and is like, hey, I need a break, coach, replace me for a few minutes, right? And so he's not afraid to reach out to the leader to have somebody pull in his place. So a lot of times, and I was bad about it too, you just want to keep grinding and keep working and keep digging until like maybe it's too late or you're just overwhelmed and you don't know where to go. Lean into the leaders that you're surrounded with. Like you said, it's not a fire I'm handing you. I want to empower you, because a lot of people would really love that. Give me a little bit more administrative to help you as the leader, to make sure these things are streamlined and all that. So that's a great point.
And people take ownership, right? People love that stuff. They love to own something and then they're going to run with it. And if you give them that responsibility to run with it and that ability, that autonomy just to say, this is my thing, I can make decisions about it because I know these are the expectations. I just got to make sure I fall in those goalposts, right? I'm falling in those goalposts and I make decisions, I'm good, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
All of a sudden now they're owning it and running it, and they're going to turn into something, because if you're doing other stuff and your focus is in another place, they have a lot more focus and a lot more creativity and curiosity about that thing, and they might be able to turn it into something beautiful for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. And kind of backing up to the owner, I'm so busy, I'm treating patients, I'm marketing, I'm creating all these forms, I'm on my social media and I'm trying to respond to this. And so let's switch gears real quick and talk about like creating forms and surveys and newsletter and blog posts. These things can take up so much time. Yeah, they're important, but is that what the CEO needs to be doing? This is probably where the software helps as well, right?
The software is key. So in Clinic Dash, what we've done, we've sent over 120,000 emails or something like that. We've tested. I'm a tester. Everything we do is an experiment. If we change something, I'm going to give it to one member of my team and I'm going to say, you're going to write this email this way, and then we're going to test it for 3 months and see what your response rates are and see what type of responses you get. So we've tested over 120,000 times, right? With email scripts. All those email scripts and all those email forms are put into the software. So you get something that's been tested thousands of times for you, and someone that's done the work about every single little word and the meaning and the emotion that goes behind every single little word. That's included in there. All the surveys. So any outcome measures, right? So you remember your standardized outcome measures, when it's upper extremity functional index, lower extremity functional scale, all that kind of stuff. It's already put in there and it's already automated. So what you can do is when someone starts with you or you're doing a reassessment, you can just go in there and say, email this to this person, and it sends, and it also sticks with them. Their score sticks with them, and it automatically is connected to their profile.
I'm guessing that a lot of the calls I get with the M&A space is here, Raintree, WebPT, Prompt. What are your most popular ones in Canada?
Jane and Juvono are pretty popular. Clinic Masters up there as well. They're the most popular.
Is this an add-on inside the EMR?
So some of them have open APIs, and we're working toward that. So right now we're building and testing an API with another company called Clinico, right? And so we're building that right now. And then once we test that and get some really good test data from that, we're going to be able to open it up to other EMRs as well that have APIs that we can connect with. And then it's going to be even a more amazing system, because what it's going to do is it's going to pull all the data into it automatically, right? So it already pulls the data automatically from all your phone systems and everything, from all your emails, because our system, you can sign into your Gmail or your Microsoft account. And so all your emails and all your phone system and all your text and social media come to this one thing in Clinic Dash, and it tracks it all. So really what happens is it automatically summarizes those conversations, and they're searchable conversations. So say, Tanny, for example, you called me 2 weeks ago at the clinic, and then you call me today. As soon as you call, I can say, Tanny called me about this 2 weeks ago. And if you mention it, you can be like, yeah, Tanny, this is what we were talking about. Doesn't matter if you had the conversation with me or someone else at the clinic, I can see it right in front of me while we're chatting on the phone.
Just backing up, 10,000 foot view. This is just not another frilly special windshield wiper to add to your whole practice. This is a tool that is needed among a lot of other tools that we need, that helps you delegate, right? Gives you more time as the CEO and the owner to focus on growing the practice, which is really why you got into it in the first place. Nobody really got into it to think, oh, my main job is going to be writing newsletters, following up with social media posts, and responding to patient emails about their insurance. Not what you really got into the practice for. So think about, as listeners again, are your systems systems actually working for you, or are they a little bit like an anchor that's kind of dragging you along? So if you're not sure, it's time to evaluate your process. What are you doing? How's your EMR working for you? Clinic Dash is an option. Michael, what else? Have you got any other nuggets or tidbits for kind of running a successful practice? I know focus is a huge one.
Yeah, focus. And then the other piece, so we've talked about clarity and communication. And part of clarity communication is knowing your mission, vision, values, right? And then really what Clinic Dash is going to help you do is switch and take your mission, vision, values and put that into numbers. You're tracking treatment plans, so it helps you with mentorship and coaching. You're tracking your phone calls, so it tracks your front desk. It tracks your marketing and referral sources. But at the same time, it's tracking things that are people focused, right? So you can track visits per week, all that kind of stuff, but you're not chasing the money. And so Clinic Dash helps you not chase the money. That's for the owner. The owner needs to know, am I breaking even or am I making money? What do I need to do? But anybody other than the business owner, just like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about, people don't care about your P&L when they're working at the clinic. They don't own the clinics. They don't care about your P&L. They care about, am I doing a good job and how can I do a good job at this place and how can I be fulfilled? And so that's what it does. It's, if you're a healthcare provider, am I getting people better? And how am I doing with that? Where can I learn? Where can I grow? Or where can I teach others, right? And that kind of stuff.
As we all prepare for 2025, remember that our systems, our coding, which is a small part, but it's very important, tracking our KPIs, being aware of our team, any burnout that may be coming into play, or if you see a proverbial hand go up, if somebody's in a foul mood, or you can just tell somebody's demeanor has changed. As the leader, as the coach of your team, lean into that and really be interested in them as a practitioner, because that is managing a clinic with intention. That's what that is, intention and precision. And actually Clinic Dash helps tremendously with the precision part. And that helps you navigate the challenges because they're going to show up. 2025 is no different. Should be a really great year. But Michael, if folks want to get in touch with you, of course, Michael Major in Canada, what's your email and a good website that somebody could take a look?
Yeah, they can email me at mmajor@clinicdash.ca, and then clinicdash.ca is the website as well, and they can take a look there. There's an option to take a look at a demo video. You can book a call with me, which is a free strategy call. We just talk about what your goals are, what your challenges are, that kind of stuff as well.
It's so good to lean into people that have the knowledge, have been there before. And again, give yourself permission to lean into somebody who wants to help. I always want to help people. Michael is here. He wants to help. We're helpers by nature. Lean into that. And thanks for listening to PT M&A Talk. Keep striving to do what's best for your practice. Be intentional about it. And we'll catch you next time.